My son was handcuffed on our own front lawn for the crime of being excited about a new phone he bought with his own savings. Our HOA president, a self-appointed queen of the neighborhood, called 911 and painted him as a dangerous thug. By the time the cruiser drove away with him in the back, I knew my life, my family's life, had just been turned upside down. That day had started so ordinary. My son, 17, obsessed with tech, had been buzzing all morning because the Amazon tracker set out for delivery. He'd saved for months, mowing lawns, doing chores, even selling his old games just to buy that phone. When the blue van pulled up, he bolted out the door. Hoodie and basketball shorts grin from ear to ear. I stood at the window, watching him proud, happy, thinking this was one of those small father-son moments I'd remember forever. Then came Karen, blonde, manicured president of our HOA, storming across her lawn like she owned the whole block. "What's a thug like you doing in this neighborhood with a package that isn't yours?" she screeched, finger stabbing the air. My son froze. The Amazon driver blinked in confusion, and I felt my stomach drop. She accused him of casing houses, of running some kind of delivery scam. The driver tried to explain, even held up his scanner showing the right address, but she wasn't interested in facts. She slapped at the box, knocked it to the ground, and we all heard that sickening crack as the phone inside shattered. My boy knelt down, holding his dream in two broken halves. That image is burned into my brain. I should have gone out right then, but I hesitated. I'm a 6'2" black man, and I knew exactly how I'd look to a woman like her worst stereotype come true. But when she pulled out her phone and called 911, screaming into the receiver that there were two large, aggressive men with weapons, I knew I had no choice. I rushed out, put my hand on my son's shoulder, tried to calm him. Karen pointed at me like she'd uncovered a conspiracy. "See? Here comes the rest of the gang," she shrieked. Within minutes, sirens filled the air. Two cops arrived, one older, measured the other young and itching for action. Guess which one believed Karen immediately. She ran toward them with crocodile tears, saying my son tried to rob her. The younger cop's hand went straight to his gun. "Hands where I can see them," he barked. My son, trembling, still clutching the broken phone, raised his hands. I did too. Humiliation doesn't even cover it, standing on my lawn treated like criminals while the real aggressor played damsel in distress. The Amazon driver tried to speak up. He explained what happened, said his truck camera recorded it. My neighbor George even came out, said he'd seen it all from his window. But Karen doubled down, claiming she felt unsafe, even clutching her chest like she was about to faint. The younger cop wasn't listening to reason. He turned to my son. "Turn around, hands behind your back." The click of those handcuffs echoed like a gunshot. My boy, who'd never been in trouble a day in his life, was led to the cruiser while Karen smirked from her lawn like she'd won some sick game. At the station, they booked him. Mugshot, fingerprints, a holding cell. He told me later how cold and humiliating it felt, like he was no longer a kid who loved anime and tech, just another suspect. Meanwhile, I was slapped with an HOA notice taped to my door, a complaint of criminal activity at our residence, a warning of fines or even removal. Karen wasn't content with breaking a phone. She wanted us out of the neighborhood. That night, I broke down. I sat in the dark, wondering if I'd failed as a father. Should I have told my son not to run outside so excited? Should I have kept him invisible, quiet, safe? For a few minutes, I actually thought about giving up selling the house, moving away. Maybe that's what she wanted all along. But then I looked at my boy asleep on the couch, clutching the blanket like a shield, and I knew no, we weren't running. I called a civil rights lawyer the next morning. Mr. Davies listened to everything, asked sharp questions, and told me flat out this was malicious harassment. Karen had committed property damage slander, even filed a false police report. We had witnesses, maybe even video. We had a case. It wasn't easy. The Amazon driver, Frank, got cold feet. His supervisor warned him about Karen's husband's corporate connections. Amazon claimed their footage was recorded over. The HOA doubled down, naming Karen head of a neighborhood watch that basically turned our neighbors into her spies. My son was stuck inside, trapped by a bogus restraining order she filed, claiming he'd been stalking her. It was insanity. But then something shifted. My sister posted our story online. It went viral. Strangers donated to help with legal fees. Local news showed up at our door. George gave us his doorbell recording clear audio of Karen screaming racist nonsense. Under pressure, Amazon found the truck footage after all. The tide was turning. Our first real battle was the restraining order hearing. Karen arrived in pearls and designer clothes, her lawyer spinning tales of being terrorized by my son. When it was our turn, Davies played the doorbell audio. Her voice filled the courtroom. "What's a thug like you doing here?" The air went ice cold. Then came the Amazon footage, crystal clear video of her slapping the package out of Frank's hands. The judge glared at her, dissolved the order on the spot, and warned her about perjury. For the first time, Karen's mask cracked. The dominoes fell fast after that. The DA dropped all charges against my son and issued an apology. The HOA forced Karen to resign. And then came the civil trial. Karen tried to paint herself as a frightened woman who misinterpreted a threat. But we had evidence witnesses' video, and most powerful of all, my son himself. He told the jury how proud he'd been saving for that phone, how it felt to be accused, cuffed, and thrown in a cell. His voice shook, but he didn't cry. He just told the truth. It was devastating. The jury didn't take long. They found Karen guilty of defamation, malicious prosecution, intentional infliction of emotional distress. They awarded us every dollar of damages plus punitive fines so steep they'd follow her for years. Her face, when the verdict was read, it went pale, like her whole carefully curated world had shattered. But the fallout didn't stop there. The HOA, desperate to protect its image, used the verdict to fine her heavily and push her out. Within months, a for sale sign was hammered into her perfect lawn. The woman who had tried to destroy my family was the one forced to pack up and leave. I didn't cheer. I didn't celebrate. Watching her go wasn't triumph, it was relief. My son's name was cleared our home safe, but the scars remain. He still flinches when a police cruiser rolls by. He still thinks twice before running out to grab a package. And me, I've learned that justice doesn't arrive neatly gift-wrapped. You have to fight for it, bleeding, clawing, refusing to back down even when the system is against you. Because if you don't stand up to people like her, they win. And that's one thing I'll never let happen again.